So when I first saw you in this movie, we'd seen Tom Hardy, working out, and then you were working out, and I thought, he's light on his feet. He can move around. He's strategic. Mm-hmm. What was the difference between your fighting style and his fighting style?
Well, my character supposedly was a failed fighter, when he was younger. It's like he had a lot of kind of the good elements of a fighter, but he was lacking something, and that was really interesting to me, because I think that you get a character who then gets the chance to come back and have another shot at the sport that they've let go. And I think the missing ingredient then becomes this real heart that he's got, But as you point out, I mean, my character has a real kind of...
Well, he's a teacher. He's smart.
As a teacher, he's smart. He's very strategic. He's more of a wrestler and a jiu-jitsu technician than he is a stand-up.
Pound people to death, yeah.
And he's not filled with anger, which is interesting.
Which is what Tom Hardy is.
Which is Tom's character. He's combustible and prickly and wants everybody away. Whereas my character, it's not about destroying the other guy. It's about destroying the other guy in order to get the thing I need for my family,
Well, the stakes are well set up, I thought. This could have been really contrived.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my God. Two brothers going at it in the ring. How do you make that happen believably?
You put this story in the hands of the wrong director, and this movie smells like cheese. It smells like walking into the cheese section of the supermarket, because it has all those elements that you just go, really? Like, the two brothers, like the 16 fighters in the world, and two of them happen to be from the same family, and the audience doesn't know it until the end of the movie. It's like...
And they're both mad at the dad.
But as long as it's possible, that's all Gavin O'Connor needed to go, it's plausible, it's unlikely, but it's plausible, let's make it work. And that's what Gavin is great at. I mean, Gavin's depiction of the NYPD in Pride and Glory, I think, was one of the greatest depictions of the police department I'd ever seen on screen. It's and then when he came to making Warrior, he was like, right, rather than get an actor to play a referee, let's get a referee. Let's get the ref from the UFC. So they get Josh, Let's get the pay-per-view guys to play themselves. Let's get the cut men. Let's get everybody. But what he wasn't willing to do, and what I'm very glad he didn't try and do, was he didn't get two fighters to play the parts. That he was like, right, I think I need to get the right actors first, and then teach them to fight. And where the fighters came in is this incredibly open-spirited, generous, kind of welcoming of Tommy and I into their world, to say, come and we'll teach you everything we know, and we'll guide you through it. No aggression, no animosity, no kind of men rubbing beards in each other's faces.
Well, I understand you got hurt.
But we got hurt, but that wasn't out of any kind of,
got it.
Man on man kind of let's teach these boys a lesson. They were like grandmothers fixing us a cup of tea. They really were like, welcome to our world. And I think part of that is that when you're really great at what you do, you don't need to prove yourself. And that's what I felt like these guys were some of the best at what they do. And also because, and I didn't realise this till afterwards, but there was a great amount of care and concern about how their sport was going to be depicted. Mm-hmm. And here were Tommy and I are going to be the kind of pin-up boys for this sport in this movie. It's like they wanted it to be treated with respect. And so they showed us that respect, and it made us infuse that into the sport as we were going to portray it on the film,
Now, how did you get the two? I mean, you couldn't be farther away from each other culturally, really. I mean, English speaking, okay, but Australia and Britain.
Yeah.
And how did you get the two accents to match? And also, my other question is why? Why is there this masculinity that American casting directors find in Australia and in Britain that they do not find here in America? Why are American actors wusses?
I don't know. I'm not going to say that because they might come beat me up. But for a start, we leave all our wimps at home. If you go visit Australia, there's a whole bunch of wimps there. They only ship it out. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is for the Australian guys on film. I mean, there's It's weird. I don't know. I mean, most actors are theatre trained that you see out here, but that, including myself. But that doesn't really go towards explaining any sense of any masculinity. I really don't know. I really don't know the answer to that question. But I'm really glad that what Gavin was really looking for in these characters, or in Tommy and I, was two guys that held the energy of those characters, and in Tommy, I know, finding that physicality and that combustibility and that danger, and yet being able to see the child underneath that, which I think the fear is that a lot of actors approach a tough guy role and go, okay, I'm just going to be tough, I'm going to play the tough guy.
No, you see his
and they don't show the child in there. And with Brendan, there's a lot of confusion, and there's a lot of he's got a lot of love, and he's got a sort of self-professed kind of open heart, but at the same time he's projecting a lot of guilt, and he's got a lot of his own issues, and he's not absolutely perfect. And
he has a drive to win.
Yeah, and he's got a real drive to win, and he's got a level of intelligence, and yet he's not the brightest spark, And so Gavin saw that in us, and I think, and even though we were from different parts of the world, I think he was willing to take the gamble that we would be able to kind of pull off the cultural kind of accent stuff and the blue-collar nature of it, and also then pull off being fighters.
There's a scene on the beach where the two brothers actually meet for the first time in 14 years, and that must have been like the pivotal scene, even more than anything else you had to do. What did you do to make that work?
Well, there's a real tricky balance you got to achieve in a scene like that where, for a start, knowing I was working with Tom, I was like, give me as many scenes as we can have together because I love him as an actor. But then, there's that one real crucial scene, and then, of course, the second scene, we're beating the life out of each other. And, the risk is that you try and throw too much into it because you only get this short opportunity. So let's throw everything we can into it. So there's a certain amount of restraining going on, and there's a lot to get through. And one of the biggest challenges is when you've got a scene so late in a movie that's also trying to slide some exposition under the door in the form of drama.
Because you want to know how do they feel about each other?
Yeah, and
what is the nature
what was
of their
the thing that
problem?
happened? Yeah, what was the thing that happened? It's like the film is offering you the history plot. It's like, okay, they haven't seen each other in 14 years, but why? Yeah, and what exactly happened? And who was in the wrong? And who hates who for what reason? And in that scene, we're giving you a lot of the answers at the same time as we're trying to kind of give you the drama that the audience has been waiting for, which is what happens when these two guys actually see each other.